name's Rich Harrington for Understanding Adobe Photoshop, and today I want to give you a quick overview on how to fix a damaged historical photo. Now, every photo is going to have unique damage, but the process is pretty straightforward. I recommend you take a triage approach just like they would in an emergency room. So, when I look at this photo, I see a handful of different problems. The biggest problem is missing photo details, in this case just a big tear. So I'm going to restore that missing area. The next problem are little blemishes, scratches caused with age, and then I would say contrast followed by some color correction. So let's go to town. We'll zoom in here, Command plus, and the first thing to do is to actually fill in the missing pixels. Now I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of cloning to an empty layer, and I'll choose the clone stamp here and tell it to sample all layers. That's a useful way. So now that I option click and I can start to clone, it's cloning to the empty layer, which means I could turn it off and on at any point in time. This makes it easier to touch up little blemishes like you see here, and you just go rather quickly. We're just filling in that missing area, occasionally option clicking to reset my sample point, and we go across and fill in the missing hole. Now once you start going, you can get a nice bigger brush and just go to town. Spacebar gives you the hand tool so you can pan, and this lets you move through the image pretty quickly. Just option click occasionally to reset your source point so you avoid any unwanted duplication. Little tiny brush for this little narrow area, option click. There we go. And again, we're just cloning to that empty layer, which gives us a lot of flexibility. Remember, you could turn that off and on at any point in time to sort of see your before and after work. Let's zoom out, Command minus, or Control minus on a PC. There we go. Spacebar lets me move around. And we're just filling in that damaged area. Now, you can finish this out on your own or choose to just do parts of it. It's good practice though, and the more you use tools like Clone Stamp, the easier it gets. There we go. The missing areas are restored. Now, we've got some wrinkles and other damage, and we can fix that up pretty quickly. I'll zoom in so I can see this, and this is a good time to take advantage of the Spot Healing Brush. You'll find that up here, and I'll tell it to be content aware and just paint over the blemish. And it tries to fix it and analyzes it. If you're not happy with that, you can use the normal healing brush, which lets you option click to set a sample point, and you could paint as well. Now, in order for this to work, you're going to want to tell it to use all layers. So option click and paint over, and it will try to blend. There we go. Did a good job. Let's go back to the Spot tool and make sure Sample All Layers is checked. And we can just paint over some of these blemishes here and wrinkles, and notice how they're fixed. It analyzes the texture next to it and quickly takes care of it. Now, you're going to want to be careful to not get too close to the edge here so it doesn't start to pick up some of that hair. But this is an easy way to sort of fix some damage in the image. It's pretty good there. And I'm not going to do all of these, but it's nice and simple to go through and fix. And remember, because it's on its own layer here, you can grab the eraser tool if need be and just pull a little bit of that out. And you see the Content Aware option analyzes the neighboring pixels and does a nice job fixing up those blemishes. So, works nice. You can go to town and get some practice on a lot of these other ones. Another technique I like to use is the smudge tool. And you could take that to lighten or darken mode. In darken mode, only the dark pixels are going to be pushed. So you can select that layer there and just push those dark pixels. If you choose Sample All Layers, it works the same way, and you can use that empty layer there and just push those dark pixels around to fill in little dust or blemishes. Have a light problem, you can switch to lighten and push the light pixels over the dark spots as well, and that'll take care of those. So, very easy way between those two tools, smudge and the spot healing brush, and you'll often find that you can quickly fix your problems. If necessary, you can always go in and zoom in for greater control, hide that pixel grid, and this is a case where I would turn to smudge and we'll push the dark pixels. I'll just follow the line of fabric there and smudge that in. That works well. Gently pushing, and switch over to spot healing brush when necessary to patch that up. So let's zoom out. Didn't totally fix every blemish, but we did a nice job. And I'm going to now fix the contrast and the color. We'll toss on a hue saturation adjustment layer and go ahead and strip out all the color. That worked pretty well. And I'll follow that up with a levels adjustment and click auto so it gets nice high contrast. That's looking pretty good. If you want to try a different approach, you can actually just use the black and white adjustment layer and combine a couple of steps there. And that allows you to go ahead and choose which parts of the image you want to play with. That works pretty well as well, getting that conversion. But I still like to often follow it up with a levels adjustment, which really lets me get nice crisp blacks. That's looking good. Lower the output value a bit. And if you want to tint that out, just toss on another black and white adjustment layer and click the tint box, and you've got a nice sepia tone. Dial in whatever color you want, get the results you need, and you're good to go. So, a lot more you could do there to enhance that image, but the approach is pretty simple. It's triage. Start with the biggest problems and work your way down to the smallest problems, and that's a nice, sane way to go. For Understanding Adobe Photoshop, my name's Rich Harrington.